This is From the Hood to Hair, where I share my story, my perspective, and what it took to get here. For a long time, I thought being professional meant being different from who I really was. Speaking a certain way, carrying myself a certain way, making sure that nobody could tell exactly where I come from. Because the truth is this: code switching isn't something that I just chose. It's something that I had to learn in order to survive certain spaces. I'm brown, and my presence already tells a story before I even speak. And I understood early on, if I sound too hood, if I lean too far into where I came from, that could close doors for me before I even had the chance to step through them. So I learned to move differently depending on the room, and over time, I got really good at it. Blending in, adapting, making people feel comfortable. There was a moment that made me realize how good I had gotten. At the time, I was working in a salon that was being looked at for a reality show. There was a producer involved, and we really didn't get along very well, and looking back, now I understand it. Where I come from, you learn to feel when something's off. So I kept my distance. And one day she approached me and asked, "Why won't you be my friend? I'm just trying to make you a star." My reply was, "Make me a star, and then we'll talk about being friends." Her response after that is what brought it to my attention. Her response to me was, "You're nothing more than a Northridge brat." And I remember hearing that and thinking to myself, Northridge brat? I'm from the hood. Where I come from, any one of my friends would have done anything to be considered part of a neighborhood like Northridge. And that's when it hit me. The version of myself that I've been trying to present was working. But that moment taught me something else. I had learned to move in those spaces. But what I hadn't learned was to be myself in them. Because there's a difference between adapting and disconnecting, and I had crossed over into disconnecting. And this is where I'm still growing. The goal isn't to ignore how the world works, it's to understand and adapt, and still find a way to show up as yourself inside of it. I'm still trying to figure it out, still finding the balance between not knowing how to move in certain rooms and not losing what makes me who I am. Because I've seen it. The only people usually allowed to show up like that are the ones that already have platforms, the ones people can profit from. So now the question for me became, how do I build that for myself? And that's when everything started to shift. Because instead of waiting for permission, I started to build my own platform, my own voice, a space for me to show up. Reality TV was not for me. The path did not align. So I stayed with hair, but most importantly, I stayed with me, my true self, even if that means I'm still figuring out what that looks like. And that right there, that's part of the journey. And in the next episode, I'm going to talk about what happens when you stop waiting to be accepted and start creating your own lane. This is From the Hood to Hair, and I'll see you in the next one.